So Seth Rollins decided to brag about breaking Cena's nose. Cesaro would have something to say about it. Kevin Owens would get involved. And who would team up with Cesaro to take on both Owens and Rollins in the main event of Smackdown? Well, the only way to find out is to listen to our review of Thursday Night Smackdown, powered by Google Hangouts. Prepare to warp.
Hey everybody, we're the Bayou Boys. I'm Boudreaux.
And I'm Thibodeau. And there's three things that we love doing: eating boudin, eating crawfish, and watching WGS-TV.
Greetings, everyone. You have warped your way into another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I'm the WrestleGamer Double Beaverly Boudreaux, being joined on this week's SmackDown review by the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio himself, Rick Head. Rick, what's up, man? It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while, Billy. Glad to be back here on the SmackDown review. I just got through doing a tribute to Vince McMahon using the song AC/DC's Money Talk. For those of you, check us out over on HWR Show. But we're here for SmackDown today.
Yeah, I think the only AC/DC song I've ever heard of was Highway to Hell. That'd be the only one that I've ever heard of. But anyway, Seth Rollins will come out to kind of brag about what he did to Cena. Now, they replayed it, and Rick, I just want to ask you from your viewpoint, from the way that you saw it, what went wrong in that spot with the knee that just shattered the nose of John Cena, which apparently a lot of people on social media are happy about, believe it or not.
Well, you know, the Cena haters are obviously going to love that, but it looked just when he went to knee him, I think he went to probably knee him on the side of the chin, but it looked like he just jumped too high, he overcalculated, and just hit the side of the bridge of the nose, and bang, that was it. And I could see right when it went down, and I was like, oh, that did not look good. And then me and Ms. Jack, she were talking, because, oh, I don't think it's broken. I'm like, yeah, that's broken. And you could see his nose was way off to the left side of his face.
And not only that, but the blood that was just gushing out of the nasal membranes of Cena from Monday night. Now, Cesaro would come out to kind of take offense to what Rollins was talking about. And Cesaro's really been coming on strong as of late. Ever since Tyson Kidd went down with an injury, Cesaro has been looking really, really good. It's hard to debate that, Rick.
No, not at all. Yeah, I think that first match, memorable since his singles, was when he went against John Cena himself and almost defeated him. And that was a great match. And then he had a great match with Rusev. And it seems like they're finally giving the push that he justly deserves.
Yep, and we would end up with the opening match with Rollins taking on Cesaro. I was really, really hoping for it to be a good opening match, but with the appearance of Kevin Owens, it kind of left doubts in my mind that they were really going to open up with this, and it would possibly lead to something for the main event, in which that's exactly what happened. Owens would attack Cesaro, and then we would get the announcement. Then Cesaro and a partner of his choosing would take on Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins in the main event, and we're not going to reveal that until we get who that person was, until we get to that point, you guys and gals. So you're just going to have to stay patient and listen to what we have to say for the rest of the show. The 8-man tag match, the Lucha Dragons and Los Matadores taking on the Ascension and the New Day in the form of Big E. And as of late, it's just been Big E and Kofi Kingston. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, Rick, but from what I've noticed, whenever there's been a New Day tag match, it's always been a Big E and Kofi Kingston. It's never been like Big E and Xavier Woods.
Yeah, I noticed that with Xavier Woods, he always seems to be more of a manager role rather than the actual wrestler, unless, of course, they're doing like a 3-man tag.
Oh, by the way, for you guys who don't follow, be sure you check out their YouTube channel, Up, Up, Down, Down. They did a session of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and let's just say, if you've always wanted to know how Big E would react to a jump scare, it's going to be in that video. So be sure you check out the Up, Up, Down, Down YouTube channel for that one right there. As far as the 8-man tag match goes, it was an okay. It was an okay match, as Rick didn't mute his microphone. Yeah. It was an okay tag match. Really can't say anything bad about it. Calisto would end up doing a victory roll on Viktor to pick up the win for his team. Now, Rusev and Jack Swagger renewing their rivalry of sorts. On paper, you would think this would be a squash match, you know, just based on the fact that Swagger, as of late...
I've had a couple of spells here and there, but I'm doing all right other than that.
Hi, Rick. Swagger has been more of a jobber as of late in WWE more than anything.
No, actually, it's been a little bit the opposite, where I've kind of had like hard time sleeping at night. But other than that, yeah, but that's not something that hasn't happened since I've changed medications. I've had insomnia before.
Yeah, and sorry about that, guys and gals. Just had to mute Rick for a second. But anyway, back to what I was saying about Jack Swagger. Yeah, Swagger as of late really hasn't really done much. In a sense, he's really fallen out of good graces with WWE. And in fact, I wouldn't think they would have Rusev just squash him, but instead, it was more of an entertaining type of a match, considering the excuse me, that I believe that they were in Swagger's hometown for that. But again, in the wrestling industry, 9 times out of 10, when you are in your hometown, that you would not be going over. By the way, Rick, if you can hear me at all from your phone call, you're going to have to unmute yourself because I had to mute your mic. Rusev would end up locking on the Accolade on Swagger to pick up the win. Stardust and R-Truth would have a match, and we would actually, he's been constantly using the Crossroads, but I think they finally decided to give it a new, different name because of the fact that you can't really use it Crossroads since he's Stardust. And they called it the Queen's Crossbow, and naming that move the Queen's Crossbow is just as weird as the actual Stardust gimmick in itself. I would have figured it would have been more of a galactic type name for the move. I would have given it a more of a galactic type of a name other than the Queen's Crossbow, since he's kind of like into the stars and everything like that. But yeah, but Stardust would end up picking up the win on this one, as I guess pass along passing on a little quick message to Rick via the Skype, so that way he knows when he wants to come back onto the review that he has to unmute his mic himself. Now, time for the tag match. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins taking on Cesaro, and who would be his partner for this one? None other than Dean Ambrose. And I gotta say, guys and gals, this was a great way to cap off Smackdown this week. It was an excellent tag match. Can't say anything bad about it. Now, what would end up happening is Owens would attempt to go for the pop-up powerbomb on, I believe it was Ambrose, and Cesaro would rush him from behind, roll up Kevin Owens to get the win. And I gotta say, guys and gals, it was a great match. Like I said before, can't say nothing bad about it. Can't say nothing bad about it at all. As Rick has now confirmed that he has received the message. So Rick, whenever you're ready, just unmute your mic here on the Hangout, and or can I do it myself? No, apparently I can't. Apparently I can't. So Rick, you're gonna have to do that. I can't do it for you. Anyway, guys and gals, it's now time to go into our overall scores and our picks for best and worst match or segment of Thursday Night SmackDown this week. SmackDown traditionally has always been the wrestling show of WWE, with Monday Night Raw being more of the entertainment style of WWE. So we have more matches than we would have on Monday Night Raw. So best match of the night, I'm going to go to the tag match. with Owens and Rollins taking on Cesaro and Dean Ambrose. I think it was a great tag match. It was a great main event, and I thought it was a good way to cap off the show this week. Worst match, I'm going to give it to Stardust and R-Truth, because basically I was just sitting there going, oh, Stardust renamed the Crossroads into the Queen's Crossbow. How interesting. Smackdown's going to get a solid 3 out of 5. Rick, if you're there, can you acknowledge me? I believe he's trying to acknowledge me. Oh, he's still on the phone? I'll go through my usual closing stuff. Then when you're ready, I'll come back on. I'll let you come back on to give your overall scores and your picks for best and worst match or segment of SmackDown. Anyway, guys and gals, while Rick is momentarily tied up, what I want to know from you guys out there, yes, you guys, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on SmackDown this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Thursday Night SmackDown this week? Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to check out Double B Plays, Mid-South Extreme, the vlogs whenever I get a chance to do them. Also, don't forget to check out the rest of the reviews and also our monthly pay-per-view hangouts for WWE, especially right here when we do it live, where you can hear our instant reactions to what they do on the pay-per-view. And also, don't forget to look at the end of this video. We'll have 2 videos in the annotations for you guys to check out. And also, a very quick programming note, I will be posting up a lot of other gameplays that I have done in the past here, and especially with Far Cry 4, Dying Light, just basically doing them so that way I can free up space on my laptop and get them up there. So yeah, that's basically pretty much what you're going to see in the following days. Is a lot of stuff. Plus, I'm going to have to go back and edit quite a few of those because of the fact that on the Dying Light one, I was referencing a lot of things that could have happened on this year's WrestleMania that I never got a chance to put up. So, yeah, I'm going to have to edit all of that stuff out because just hearing that would probably make no sense whatsoever. Rick, are you still on the phone, or Rick, you there, man?
Hello?
All right, guys and gals, Rick is here. Rick, it is time for your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Thursday Night SmackDown this week.
Well, I'd have to say probably the best segment is going to be the main event, because that was, I hate to say, the only thing to write home about. The rest, it was a very lackluster show. You know, the 8-man tag, it had some good spots, but again, for an 8-man tag, it really didn't have anything that was really overly excited about. So overall score.
Let me ask you this question: what about the primetime players on commentary? There are some people who like them on commentary, like me, and there are a few people who don't like them on commentary. What are your thoughts about that?
It really doesn't bother me. I understand why they're doing it, to help with their mic skills, as well as other wrestlers have done it in the past, and it for what it is, I could go either way. I could give them or take them. Doesn't matter to me, honestly. But overall score, I'm going to give it a 2.5. I can't give it a 3 even if I wanted to, because again, it's SmackDown's just becoming, I think, even as one reporter called, is a dead duck. No pun intended.
Well, one of the references I did make while you were on the phone, when I was talking to someone from one of our Mid-South Extreme shows, he said traditionally Monday Night Raw has always been since it's the flagship show of WWE, that it's always been the entertainment type of the show. You know, they would have all the promos, all the segments. They would try to build more of their angles basically on Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown would be traditionally the wrestling type of the show, more wrestling than promos and segments. So I think that's the type of show that SmackDown has kind of evolved into, or some people would say devolved into. It's just a basic wrestling show with more matches than segments, to say the least. I mean, considering this week, 1 segment to 5 matches.
Oh, I agree. And there's nothing wrong with having more wrestling or just a pure wrestling show. But again, some of the matches were just predictable. It's like, yeah, you know who's going to win. Even the opening match, you knew that once Kevin Owens came down, you knew he was running in, and it's like, oh, really? And you know, the problem was there was a time where SmackDown was just straight matches, and I almost consider them better than Raw for a while. But it's just not becoming that. And I think the reason why they might be toning it down is rumors is that once it leaves Sci-Fi, SmackDown leaves Sci-Fi, they go to USA, excuse me, it will become a higher quality show, where like an all-star show like it is on Raw.
Would you say that USA would be a bigger network bigger network than Sci-Fi?
For those who don't have Sci-Fi, I'd say yes, but in my case, I really don't see the difference. But, I mean, obviously, USA is a part of the NBC, so yeah, it's a significantly bigger and significantly much more successful, yes. But does it really affect me that it's on Sci-Fi? No, it doesn't.
All right, anyway, guys and gals, you heard everything I had to say for our closing. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Of course, they can always check us out on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And please, take the time out and subscribe to us over at youtube.com/HWR Show.
And once again, guys and gals, I remind you to check out 2 of the videos. That'll be in the annotations at the end of this video, and the links will be provided in the description box below. So with that being said, for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Billy Boudreaux, saying we'll see ya at the next Warp Zone. And the point of it, or the purpose of it, it really doesn't make any sense to me. But the Tag Team Championship, Blake and Murphy taking on the Watermelons, was indeed an excellent.
Take your phone and let me go!
Watch where it is.
For the love of it. I wish I could see that.